Yeah, second kind of take I have to make because, well, video got fucked again, and I guess I found a solution. I hope at least. And with that being said, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics fucking podcast. It's a little bit sad that I do just have to retake 10 minutes, I guess. And those 10 minutes weren't that bad, actually. I wouldn't complain. I'm still not complaining because, well, problems that I'm having is actually kind of using my time as efficient as possible. Like, it is already 11 o'clock or 11 a.m. actually. And which is quite late, and I do just have to do the posts. I do just have to actually make 2 videos and also cut them because I want to cut them. It's just a lot to do, it really is a lot, and I really do not want to do everything just after another because this would just be way too much for me, because I understand myself and because I recognize, okay, this is too much for me. Still, yeah. Hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast, if I haven't said it. But I guess I have, I'm sorry. I guess I have. It's quite fucked up, that I just have to retake it. I had just some problems with my recording software, and I've also been thinking about whether I should actually not post 1080p videos for the sake of better quality. I could, I think, do that so that the quality from the camera that is there is not such a piece of shit, because it's somehow is. The question is whether this is actually important or not. Something that pisses me on right now is that I've just lost 10 minutes. Well, this could be just a lot, this could not be a lot, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna start with the episode. Maybe this take's gonna be way, way, way better. I'm just noticing in terms of the speaking, in terms of me talking, it's a little bit better. Or actually it's quite just, yeah, it's better. Questions for sports coaches, because the last time we've actually finished Tim Ferriss' 17 questions, and so actually the longer version, because as you can see above, there is the shorter version, but there is a link that is actually selected as well that leads to the longer version, which I guess was a great decision, because the longer version actually got me, and hopefully also you, a lot of value. Yeah. And in terms of the video, I think the video will be cut. The podcast will not be cut. The podcast will always be raw, I guess, because, well, not because I'm lazy or something. I'm still editing it so that the audio quality is a little bit better or is a little bit like more kind of just satisfying to listen to, I guess. I assume, I would say. But yeah, we are going ahead with questions for sports coaches. Which just are a few questions if you are a sports coach or if you're in a similar business or something, then it is interesting. And if you're not in this business, it could be quite uninteresting, to be honest. So yeah, questions for sports coaches. Who is good at sport and who shouldn't be? Who are the most controversial trainers in sport? Why and what do we think of them? Who are the most impressive lesser known teachers and what makes you different? So this is another point actually. What makes you different? Who trained you or influenced you? Have you trained others to do this and have they replicated your results? What are the biggest mistakes and myths you see in training among pros, and what are the biggest wastes of time? What are your favorite instructional books or resources on learning this? And the last one is, if you were to train me for 12 weeks for a competition and had $1 million on the line, what would the training look like? And what about 8 weeks? What I then was talking about is actually that we do just have to be honest and truthful to ourselves in terms of what we should be doing, which, through the question who is good at sports and who shouldn't be, this question led me to the another question that I asked myself, or the fact that I asked myself or said to myself is that, we actually have to be truthful to ourselves about what we can do, about what we can't do, what we are good at, what we are not good at, and what we should be doing, what we should not be doing. What I want to say is that, everyone nowadays seems to be an entrepreneur, seems to like to be an entrepreneur, but not everyone can be an entrepreneur. It's the same thing as athletes, not everyone's going to be able to be an athlete. This is just facts, not everyone is just good enough, not everyone is I don't know, just wants to work at it hard, and everyone is just in such a good, mental or physical kind of shape. There are a lot of variations of factors, and there are a lot of factors in general and reasons why somebody cannot do something. And I guess in terms about that, we do just have to be truthful to ourselves about those things. Because actually pursuing a dream or pursuing something that is quite just really not gonna work out, never ever is quite a lot of wasted time, or quite a lot of wasted time, and it is a waste of time. You should really not do this, and therefore I just have to say, okay, we all should be truthful to ourselves. For example, me, what will I never be? I guess I will never be just someone in kindergarten. I will never be able to just look after kids as good as other people can. This is not me. It is not me. And there are other things that are not you. And there are also other things that, as well are not me. I don't know, for example, cooking. I'm never going to be a chef because I wouldn't just taste everything. I would only cook the things that I'm willing to eat as well. And I guess, I don't know if this is going to work as a restaurant or not, but I'm not the best cooker as well, because I've never been, because I've never trained it, because I've never done it. And those people that I started actually, at age 4, at age 5, at age 6, do just have, a big advantage over those people who started when they were 12, 16, 18, 20, because they've done it, because it was fun for them, because it was a passion of them, and because they just wanted to do it. And therefore maybe they should also do it. But yeah, and also funny thing is that that a lot of top sports coaches or top trainers and whatsoever, they have never ever been participating in this certain sport. And I think actually boxing is one of the best examples. There are just a lot of trainers who have never ever been boxing. They have never boxed before, never. And it's quite interesting that they are still top coaches. Would be actually very interesting why it is the case, or why this is what it is. Because actually knowing the sport, just actually knowing how it is, just staying in a ring, just fighting against somebody who might be stronger, who might be weaker, who might be faster, who might be just something, would be good, or wouldn't it? It would be just good to know how this person is feeling. But maybe this just overview, this just maybe also experience, maybe a lot of experience plays into this. Maybe those coaches that have been just so good have had just a lot of experience. This could also be the case. I don't know. I'm not really educated in this space. Healthy. This is actually the section where I've stopped. I actually began to talk about that. So yeah, healthy. And by the way, I do hope that that the video quality is okay, is alright. I've changed something in terms of the sampling rate, because because I've actually changed the settings a little bit once I've looked up a few settings of other people, how they are just doing it, because I've noticed, okay, the quality of the face cam could be better, could be way better actually, and which is a little bit bad, a little bit sad. I've been thinking about it, whether I should maybe just do something about it, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna work with the quality that I'm having here, and actually quality is something that's not as important, at least at my point of view, or in my point of view, as a lot of people think it is, which you can totally see by those really just big and high level creators. For example, PewDiePie, without insulting everyone now, he has been having just not the best quality for quite a lot of time. But he's just an inspiring and also enjoyable character. I'm sorry. So it is really not about the production quality. It's really not about the video quality. It's really not about the audio quality, even though they really play into it. Like having just decent quality, just having some sort of quality, just not being completely shit, I would say. Still makes some difference. Because nobody wants to watch some videos with 10 by 10 pixels. It's just something that's not enjoyable, something that's not, that's either, the thing is, if it is the only video it has actually been a case for me as well. If it is the only video I can find on a topic that just no one kind of knows something about, and if it's the only video that's going to help me, I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to watch it. Whether the quality be good or not, I'm still going to watch it because I need it. And, well, quality can be really fucking bad, and if people need it, they will just still watch it, On the other hand, there are just such a lot of factors why people would actually watch a video or not. Also, how long it is. Well, yeah, I guess. But still, the person in the video that is staring or making the video has just, has a lot of impact on if the video is good or not. Something that I always just see with myself, that I might be or should maybe be a little bit more energetic when I'm just talking there, because in some sections of the video I'm just being like, yeah, how are you? I'm doing this, and not really kinda interesting to watch, or not quite interesting to listen to maybe. And maybe then editing and just doing a little bit more like edited stuff and whatsoever could be just the solution for something like this to make the video more interesting. But still, that's me judging, and I've been talking about this for quite often, I would say. You judging your own shit is just never a good idea. I think if it is somehow good enough, you should definitely distribute it. You should definitely post it. You should definitely publish it. Because, being too perfectionistic about the stuff that you're doing is just really a waste of time and a waste of your energy. Because, often, and this example, I've been talking about this before, when I'm drawing something, it has actually been the case for, quite often, to be honest. When I'm drawing something and I'm just really trying to be perfectionistic, I'm really trying to make this picture or this kind of drawing as good as possible, then often the case is that in the process, in some part of the process, or in some kind of, in the process, often the drawing is way better than in the end. Because in the end, or just, to the end, I've been really trying to actually make everything a little bit better, and sometimes you just fuck it up. You really fuck it up. You make just a weird line into the whole picture because you've just, I don't know, you were shocked or something else. It could always be the case they just slip a little bit and then there is a line in your picture. And if it's a really kind of deep line, if it's kind of black line, in terms of pencil, you will never going to be able to just erase it completely. Without actually destroying all the other shadings that you've been making and whatsoever. Like it's then fucked up. It really is. But yeah, healthy. Good general health principles. Work on the deficiencies you're most embarrassed by. True in athletics and beyond. Laird Hamilton, all you flexible people should go bang some iron, and all you big weightlifters should go to some yoga. Stop being complacent in your strengths. Yeah, I think actually sports and your body, and I think also the mind maybe, I think this is actually the only area where I would say that you should actually also work on your deficiencies, and that you also should work on those things that you're not good at yet. In all the other life areas, I would say no, you shouldn't, because it just wastes a lot of time, and actually becoming something like mediocre in a field you're not good at already will take a lot of time, and maybe you do not have the time, but maybe it could also be just good. There are so many factors. Like, we are all individuals. We are all fucking individuals. Flexibility is passive. Mobility requires demonstrating strength through the entire range of motion. Consider changing diet and exercise to eat and train. The former is aesthetic and doesn't have a clear goal. The other is functional and has a clear goal. What? Never mind. How to find a good doctor. Ask your doctor, what does cholesterol do? Identifies doctors who simply follow heuristic versus those who truly understand something. The time they spend on your first visit. Well, yeah, I guess, in terms of the question about cholesterol, I guess some would just, tell you the kind of scientific bullshit, and some will tell you how it actually is, just what it is doing and whatsoever. So it identifies. So ask your doctor, what does cholesterol do? Identifies doctors who simply follow heuristics versus those who truly understand something. So people that have just learned something, which is actually the case, I think, for a lot of medicine students, I guess, because they do have to learn just a lot of fucking shit. And I guess it would, you know what? I'm never gonna be able to be a doctor, I guess, because, always when I'm learning something, learning something for school, actually, even though I like it, I always gonna just, forget just, 80% of it afterwards. After I've taken the test, after I've taken the exam, I actually gonna forget 80% of what I've learned, which is just a really pity, it's just really fucked up. But, this is me, maybe it's just because I'm able to learn really fast, but with the downside of it not just staying in my mind if it's something that's not really, really important for me. If it's something that's really important for me, it's gonna stay in my mind, it's gonna stay there, it's gonna be important for me. Be around people who can push you. When heliboarding, 80-year-old Don Wildman surrounds himself with younger guys to raise the energy. Don't hold yourself back in embarrassment of your abilities. Gabby Reese's story about how a volleyball coach singled out a player and said, "I need you to put this ball away and for you to win this game." So Gabby Reese's story about how a volleyball coach singled out a player and said, "I need you to put this ball away and for you to win this game." Okay. Why is this? Oh. Have I selected it? Because I don't actually know. Exercises recommended. This is now going to be just very important for me to point out. Some exercises might not be suited for you. Some exercises might not actually be good for you. This is just what it is. Because, I, for example, have scoliosis or scoliosis, which is actually some, deficiency in my back. So my spine is actually not quite straight. I have an S curve in my spine, which is not good. Doesn't sound good. It is not good. It really is not. The thing there is, because of that, I'm not allowed, or I should actually not do certain exercises. Which means, if an exercise is hurting you somehow, which I'm actually sometimes ignoring, but anyway, if an exercise is hurting you, I guess you should not do it. You should not. Because there might be some reasons why it's hurting you. Maybe you just also have some deficiencies in your body, or some abnormalities, something like this, that might be just in the way of you and the exercise or something. And then just don't do it, I guess. But and the QL walk, warm up for quads and glutes. A Jefferson curl, do at beginning of workout for mobility, so the Jefferson curl, and start with 15 pounds. The AG walks with rare support highlights problems with shoulders flexibility or strength. Pike pulses, 15 to 20 pulses. Cast wall walk, glute medius exercises, 10 to 15 reps for each, for all 7 exercises for each leg, no rest in between. Remember to keep big toe below heel. Starting position is laying on side. Lift leg vertically up and down. Front kick forward to 45 degrees. Back swing as far as possible without arcing back. Full front and back swing clockwise circles. Ankles should be 12 inches apart at least. And counterclockwise circles. Bicycle motion. Cossack squat. Warm up for ankle mobility, deadlift for maximum strength gain. I'm not quite sure about this. If you have some lower back problems, you might not actually do some deadlifts, and also some knee problems or whatsoever, or at least you should not go heavy with them. Deadlift for maximum strength gain, deadlift to knees, then drop the bar. Okay. 2 to 3 sets of 2 to 3 reps each. Follow each set with plyometrics. So sprint 10 to 20 meters, 6 to 8 box jumps, 5 minutes of rests twice weekly. Grease the groove. For pull-ups, do half your max reps in sets throughout the day, with at least 15 minutes between sets. The rest allows for for creating phosphate hypercompensation. Yeah, I haven't understood anything that he was talking there. But yeah, even though I'm quite educated in this certain space, because I'm working out myself, because it is something that's important for me, because I've always been quite sporty. Always been actually something that is important for me, something that I like, something that is valuable for me, something that I do just enjoy. Interesting health practices to consider. Well, before I actually, maybe I'm gonna start with this the next time, actually, so that I'm not reading the whole time long, the last 10 minutes. No, I'm gonna stop here. In terms of my workout routine, I guess, I have been doing actually full body workouts, but in the meantime, I think it's gonna be just or it got a little bit too light workouts, I guess, because if you're just working out your whole body in an hour, and you're doing just somehow, which I'm doing, between 40 seconds and 1 minute of rest. I've also done it with 30 seconds and something like this, but something that doesn't work out for me now in the meantime. Also, something that I might be doing or should be doing maybe is rest. Like not working out for a week or something, so that my body can actually kind of heal itself, so that I just, so that I can just gain a lot more muscle mass again, because I've noticed, my performance dropped just, I do not want to say significantly, but just it definitely dropped, I've noticed it, which is a little bit bad, which is a little fucked up, but it is what it is, and maybe you should actually just, do not, I think it's, is it work overload or something? I don't know, there's a certain kind of, it's not a phrase, but there's a certain word for when you're actually stopping to work out, to actually let your body rest, and so that you that you're then able to gain more muscle mass afterwards, because there was some plateau or something, and then you've rested, and then you can spike up again and whatsoever, and then again a plateau, rest and spike up again and whatsoever. So I think can I find some graphs? New window. Well, thanks a lot, you motherfucker. Is this working? No, it is not, because nothing is working. Yeah, never mind. So I might be putting it here somewhere if I'm finding something, or maybe just cut it somewhere and then make another video and just talk about it, or maybe I'm doing something, I don't know. But now in the meantime, I'm actually doing a split. I'm working out my upper body and my lower body. In terms of actually, having multiple splits, like, on one day I'm gonna do arms, on one day I'm gonna do this, and one day I'm gonna do that. It's not quite working out for me, even though I do just have holidays for 2 months now, which actually, it would let me be able to do this. The thing is, then if I'm then going to school, I would just significantly just have to work out differently, which is not that nice, which is, I do just have, or want to have one kind of routine that I can get used to and whatsoever. But I guess, this method also the method of having a split, upper body and lower body, won't work out when I'm in school. Because when I'm in school, I gotta have the next year I'm only having 33-hour weeks. So you could actually work out. But I also have to write my diploma. So it's actually, fucked up. But I still need my sport. So maybe I'm gonna back to full body workouts. But the problem there is, what I initially wanted to talk about is that you're only able to work out your full body in 60 minutes. For sure I could do 2 hours or something, but this is just then a waste of time, I guess. I think more than 1.5 hours is just too much, I guess. It's just then well, some people will say, okay, you have to do it because this and that and whatever, and those really big bodybuilding legends have also been doing it. For example, just Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think he was working out for 5 hours a fucking day, which is just a lot, but I guess, this was what he needed. It's not what I need. I do not want to be a bodybuilder. I want to look good, of course, but I want to feel good as well, and I do want to do other stuff as well. So yeah, I think this just might also be some of these things where you do have to find out what's working best for you. Some people are gonna do some, or maybe you're gonna get a coach. This is also an option actually to step up your game or to begin your game, because there is some learning curve. Of course, I've been doing this for 4 years now, I guess, or this is the 5th year. No, I think this is the 4th year now. And I've always been doing sports. I've always been just somehow a little educated, interested, and whatsoever in this kind of area. So it's not a big deal for me at this point in time. But I assume that some people who are just who are just starting to work out, there is definitely some learning curve, and there's definitely something that they have to learn, something that they just have to find out for themselves, also in terms of the exercises. Because, well, certain exercises, might it be just push-ups or might it be, squats, you will notice if you're doing them just in certain other ways, they're going to be just better for you, they're going to fuck you better, and whatsoever. There's so many different varieties, and so many different factors. Also, the shoes that you're having, whether you have slept a lot, whether you have drank a lot, whether you have eaten something. So many factors that could play into a good workout, into a bad workout. That could lead to you getting injured or not. There are really a lot of things that you might have to consider, or that you just might have to look for. But yeah, so I'm now doing just my split, upper body and lower body, I think every second day. It is still just a lot, and often I really do not feel like working out, to be honest, even though it is actually something that I like to do. What I've used to like to do it. If this is a sentence, I don't fucking know. In the meantime, I got just something like, I do have to force myself sometimes, but that's okay. It's okay. As long as I'm doing it, because the thing is, if I'm not doing it, and if I look in the mirror and see myself and I see my body not looking as good as I want it to look, then I'm getting mad, and then I'm getting really fucking passionate and really fucking kind of serious about the whole thing. And maybe this is something that I wanna just, not have, something that I do just wanna go around or something. I don't know. I really don't. But yeah, I guess this is actually the end of the episode. And I've been talking a little bit. This is nice, at least for me. Well, maybe the information there could have been good for you, but this is definitely going to be in the other episode as well, so I don't know what's the best thing. But yeah, I wish you the best health, wealth, happiness, and success, and I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you're going to be remembered. And with that being said, which is actually your legacy, because it is in your control, it is in your hands, but you do not have to serve everyone. Not everyone's going to like you. Some will like you, a lot will like you, but not everyone, just because, I guess. But yeah, with that being said, thank you very much for listening and or watching, and I see you in the next fucking episode, I guess. I see you.